Let's then talk about this great question from Lazan, sticking with you. And let me kick off the answer to this question, then I'll hand back to Salil, because this is an aspect that we do talk about in the course. And the question is, hello, what worth does a blog add to a company? So this is in the broad category of how well a company wants to use thought leadership to add to its brand reputation and the credibility that it wants to achieve in the organization. So what you would want to consider there is that if that company is in a certain industry offering certain products and services, do they have authority and knowledge and intellectual property that informs perhaps the research and the marketing and the development and the distribution and the provision of those products and services? Because if they do have that credibility and authority, it's going to increase the level of trust that people will have with that organization. And trust is obviously going to flow into better, more entrenched customer relationships. So what you typically see is that an organization would then have people willing to write articles in their company, and they would either then post those on their own website or perhaps on LinkedIn. And again, following very similar strategies to what we talk about in the course. Where should you blog? How should you write the article? What should you include in the article? That will always still be an individual, but they might be writing more in a company context that is drawing attention to the fact that the company has access to that knowledge. They perhaps employ that person, and therefore there is an association of the quality of the article and the insights that you get from the article with the quality of the company and the authority and the credibility they have, that you may then be attracted to in order to become a customer. Salil?
Yeah, and going on to that, in a lot of our courses, we talk about establishing trust between a company and a customer. And we do that by creating a freemium model. So let me just give you an example of this accounting firm we recently helped on a project where what we did was we asked them to create multiple blogs. So what they did was they created a blog on how to create a balance sheet, how to create an income statement, how to analyze financial ratios. And they created all this free information, all this free content on their blog, helping people, giving them free value, giving them additional value. And at the end of every article, all they said was, here you go, here's your information. And if you need help doing it from us personally, refer to our services and then we'll offer you accounting services. So it was sort of this freemium model which they created where the blog article would give information on how to create a balance sheet, but then you don't necessarily have to do it yourself. If you need our service, if you just need the information, great. We are happy to help you, and we are glad that we know we could be of service. But if you need us to now do it for you, here's our services and here's our list of services. Contact us, reach out, and then we'll do the services for you. So that's sort of the freemium model that the company created, and how they are generating exceedingly high amount of traffic with their blogs. And obviously only a percentage of this blog actually convert to people wanting the services, but it's still a great way to generate traffic for the company, establish credibility, provide free value, create a freemium model where they establish trust, and all of that really adds value to their company. And that's how they've effectively used the model for the company, using a blog to generate a lot of business. So they've been very successful in it, and it's one of the great ways you can use blogs to generate business. And as we are on the topic, Peter, I'd like to go into a little bit of monetization that we've talked about in the blog, because making money from the blog is equally as important as writing it. I say you write for your passion, but when your passion makes you money, it's even better, right? So we have an entire section on monetization in the course where we talk about primarily all the ways you can monetize your blogs. It can be through ads, it can be through partnerships, it can be through collaboration, it can be selling your own products, selling your own services, selling affiliate products where you sell products of another company. You can be an affiliate partner with Amazon where you're selling all the products that Amazon offers, but you get a commission off it. So there are all these ways you can make money out of a blog. And in the course, what we've done is we beautifully categorized these forms of monetization based on the number of visitors you have. So when you have less number of visitors, you are less likely to make revenue from ads, right? You're more likely to make revenue from selling products or services. When you have a little higher, you can sell other people's product and make a lot of money from that small commission. When you go one step further, you can then do ads and you can generate revenue from ads. So all these are different. There are multiple sources of revenue and multiple ways to monetize. But what we've also done in this course is categorize them based on the number of visitors and number amount of traffic you're getting, of which way or which source of monetization will be best for you to access and monetize the course. So I hope, as Peter has posted the link in the chat, that you are part of the course, and then you learn how to blog, and then you get to the monetization section where you actually see that blogging is as much as for passion, as much as it is to share information. It is also a good way to make revenue, and what are the ways you can make revenue out of it.
And I suppose, Salil, coming back to, we were talking about SEO right at the beginning of the webinar. Ultimately, people are on the internet and they're searching on something like Google because they have a question. And SEO and the algorithm behind Google is going to try and help them answer that question as quickly as possible. And people will trust a source that gives that to them as quickly as possible in a well-packaged format. And a blog can be very successful in listing 3 things to do to get more time in your diary, or 5 steps to fix your motorbike, or the 3 big takeaways from the new iPhone launch, for example. But then what you were talking about, Salil, was often the call to action that possibly sometimes comes towards the end of the blog and shouldn't be up front in the person's face because they've come to the blog to answer their question. The call to action, once you've established some trust by answering their initial question that they typed into Google, is then, as you've been saying, okay, now click here and you'll go into our services, or click here and go into an affiliate link, or click here and take up one of our other offers, which then is how the monetary value comes through the blog, because you've linked the genuine desire for answering a question with some useful information to further action and more information through products and services that, as you say, then can have some monetary value. And blogging is very powerful for creating that link. And what is the alternative? The other alternative is for people to drive adverts into people where they are already looking and watching existing other content. And sometimes, and we all know it, adverts can be very distracting and irritating, frankly. But if through the blog you've established credibility, like we spoke about just now for a company, there's a higher chance of people then taking action if there is some sort of link or call to action in the blog. So just a very powerful aspect of how you think about going into blogging.